Hi folks, Toad here with Visordown.com in Tenerife for the launch of the 2020 Yamaha Tracer 700. We are about 50 kilometres into the press ride, so we've just got to the first coffee stop. So I thought I'd do a quick first impressions. Well, before first impressions, what's new? So it's Euro 5, so slightly cleaner. Power's the same, although it's made a little bit lower in the rev range, and torque is the same. Biggest change for me is that we now have adjustable front KYB forks. At least I think they're KYB. And an adjustable rear shock. The old bike had just mechanical preload, and this has now got rebound damping on the rear and spring preload and rebound damping on the front. Obviously, we've got this new updated, much fresher looking face, which is all cool. I think it looks really modern. It almost looks like a concept bike that you'd see on a stand that isn't actually a production bike. I think it looks really neat. Revised exhaust, as you have to get around the latest batch of fun police regulations. So we've got a new catalyzer arrangement, whereas the old one just had the cap down in the collector box underneath the engine. This one's got a kind of a cap just after the manifolds. We have got improved rider and passenger seat, and new dash, which is a reverse LED. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So that's a sort of similar style to the MT09 SP system, which is dead easy to read. And we've got a screen which you can adjust with one hand on the fly, which is good because the old one had these little silly twiddly knobs and you couldn't do it on the move. So after 50 kilometres of riding up some twisties, what do I think? Immediately the styling changes make it feel more compact from the cockpit, so it feels very small. The old Tracer 700 had kind of bigger headlights and it had a bigger frontal fairing, and it just gives the impression that you sat on something that's a lot neater and a lot more compact. The suspension is worlds apart to the old bike. The old bike used to have a tendency, and I spent a lot of miles on a Tracer 700, the original version, and it used to pogo a bit. So you'd trail brake into a corner and then you'd sort of let go of the brake and then tip it in earnest, and all of a sudden the front suspension had come boinging back up towards you. But this bike is a lot more refined. It feels a much more complete suspension setup. The other bike was I just felt a bit like a commuter bike, and this has definitely got a bit more sports, sort of sports touring. I still think probably as parallel twins go, the CP2 Yamaha engine, the cross-plane twin, is probably the best parallel twin out there. It's just so fizzy, so excitable. I like as well that Yamaha with this bike, to get around Euro 5, they already knew it would pass Euro 5, and they've been building this engine up from when it was first introduced back in the MT07. They already knew that it would get through Euro emissions regulations for years to come, so they haven't had to do the old let's just bung another 100cc on it and remap it and stick an extra cat on. They've kept the 700cc layout, which to me is great because it's got that fizzy character to it, which is just really enjoyable. Makes it a nice bike. One thing I have noticed as well, the screen is quite small. I'm 5'7", as most of you will know, and my head is sat outside of the bubble with the screen on the highest setting. Yeah, it's not a massive problem because there is an aftermarket screen which is much taller and sort of more sculpted to get the air over your head. But yeah, if you're any taller than me, you're probably going to want to bung that aftermarket screen on it because it is quite a small screen. So there we have it, Tenerife for the Tracer 700. Be a full written editorial on Visordown, and there will also be a full video review coming very soon. Cheers folks.